Uh, Welcome to Bill's journey through Andrew's social psychology experiment, or I guess my social psychology experiences. Uh, I just wanted to make a couple of images to show for show the concepts, my social psychology concepts and experiences. I thought it would be a cool medium to like use like a game character in Pygame. So the first image that is social psychology, the scientific study of how people think about, influence, and relate to each other. So I try to show like this guy standing and thinking about something because that's how this is how like because it relates to my life and everybody else's life. I think where they get an idea in their head and then or like a thing they're interested in researching and then they start their hypothesis and then they start down the path to social psychology. The next one is the spotlight effect, where like you think that everybody's paying attention to you when you're different. I've had this happen to me many times, like where I'm not wearing the correct shirt or I forget part of my uniform and I think everybody's staring at me because I look different than the rest of my coworkers. And I try to like show this to Bill, looking different than the red and green guys. I mean the orange shirt guys. And then I try to show confirmation bias through like well, confirmation bias is something that happens to me. It's a problem like I care more than like it's a problem that happens to me more than I care to admit. Sometimes I get so tunnel visioned on one thing that I ignore everything else around me that could disprove it. And I try to use these trees as like a example, where like he only pays attention to the green leaves and like filters out the red and yellow that could disprove him. And then insufficient justification is a cognitive shortcut that I think we all use too much. It's like it's a way I've seen myself be a bad person and like not spend the cognitive effort to get to know a person, but instead making a snap judgment based on how other people treat them, and if they're being treated poorly, then they must be a bad person. I try to like visualize this by having this person be ostracized and ignored, and then have them be sad while everybody else, and then have my character have Bill think he must be a bad person. Uh, Androgynes. I try to show androgyny through like the laboratory of mixing, or like just show like how androgyny comes by, or like how I like to think about it, like when I try to dress in a more androgynous way, or like uh, be more like take a bit from masculine, like take a bit of like from masculine and take a bit from feminine that I like, and then you try to mix it together, and that's how you get androgynous. I try to show that's what I try to show in this image. It's just like the like how like androgynous is like around us all, and it's just like when we take some masculine and feminine traits and we mix it together. So for this image, I wanted to demonstrate credit conformity because I think we all do conformity more than I think we all do conformity more than we care to admit. Sometimes it just makes life easier when you don't want to argue with a person, and so you just agree with what they're saying, and then in like your head you privately disagree with them. I've had many arguments like this where I just give up and agree with them. Uh, and then I think I tried to show this to Bill like, with this guy arguing about the world being 3D when the Bill actually thinks it's 2D, and so he just he's just agreeing though because he doesn't want to argue with this guy. And then credibility occurs every day for me, and I think like every day, it's like how you choose like what information to believe, and like where you get your information and how you believe it. And so I try to show like a guy that I would believe credible as like a doctor or like a person that looks like a scientist. They're talking about why the world is 2D, and I try to show that in the TV and have Bill believe this person because they look credible, so they trust their information source. For this one, I wanted to show social lofting because social lofting is something that I do more than I care to admit, especially on my Spanish projects. And social lofting is just the idea of dispersing of group effort. And I tried to draw the classic experiment where like we've all like probably social lofted tug of war where we don't put in as much effort as we would by ourselves. And I hope that this demonstrate would show it, like showing people doing a little bit of a tug of war and having Bill like see it. And then for this is stereotypes, and I try to draw a stereotype that I catch myself falling to. Uh, I try to draw a stereotype that catch myself falling to with me thinking that jocks are stupid, or like I seeing a person that is muscular or like very athletic, or like they look like the type of muscular, and then I make a quick stereotype about them instead of trying to get to know them and just assuming they're dumb, when in fact they could be smarter than me, and they probably are. And I just wanted to like have Bill realize the stereotype here, or just show like a common stereotype that I find myself in. And then right here, I wanted to demonstrate instinct. Uh, and instinct is something that is just was in it's in us all. And I tried to show that instinct of hunger and having people line up for food. And I've done this a lot. Well, I do this all the time on campus. So I line up for food to wait, like in food because I get hungry and I can't go against my instincts. So I wait in these long lines at the dining court to get food. So I try to demonstrate like a situation that's similar to that through this image. And then in this image, I wanted to show how like people make friends, and this is how I made my friends in college. Is like proximity, like that I became friends with the people that lived in my dorm and that would like live near me and had the same classes as me. And I would this is like how I try to demonstrate it is like showing that the people that live near each other became friends. And then here I wanted to show the bystander effect, which is something I do think about a lot, because uh, like when there's so many people here that nobody's helping them because like the it's been dispersed. And I oftentimes, when I see somebody need a help, I often overthink it or think that somebody else is going to help, and I try to demonstrate that through this image. And then through this image, I wanted to show mirror image perceptions. So I tried to make these guys look alike, because oftentimes when I disagree with somebody, I like make them like the complete opposite of me, when in fact they're probably more similar to me than I'd care to admit. So I wanted to show these people arguing about like how their morals are very different, but they actually look like the same person. And trying to show that people are a lot of times the people that differ are like more similar than they think. And like a lot of people I argue with, I only argue with them because I'm probably so similar. Oh, and that was the final image. And I just wanted to thank you for listening to this